Hey, welcome to the Sh4t Show. I'm Ben Painter. I don't know if people know me or not, but hey, anyway, we're gonna do a new thing here that I decided to start doing. We're gonna do horror convention reviews because I've been going to some horror conventions lately, and you probably don't give a shit about my opinion, but I feel like I should probably share it anyway. We're gonna do this in one take. No edits, no redos, no nothing. I've got my one glass of nice Texas bourbon with soda, and we're going to do this. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this. I went to Spooky Empire this weekend, and if anybody's not doesn't know what Spooky Empire is, actually I should have brought this up here. Let me share the little screen here so everybody can see what I'm talking about here. Boom, share screen, and we're going to share a window. Boom. All right, this isn't the actual graphic from Spooky Empire, but this actually goes over everything that was at Spooky Empire. So, here's Spooky Empire logo. The dates were May 29th to 31st. I was actually, that was last weekend, and it's really want to be fresh in my mind here. So I'm going to go ahead and give a review about it. It was actually at the Doubletree Hilton SeaWorld Resort. And I'll get into that too, talk about the resort and everything, how everything was set up there. I'm gonna probably say a lot because this is the first one of the horror convention reviews, and it says Thursday, June 4th. I changed that. I got a podcast tomorrow. Went ahead and decided to go ahead and go with a recorded version today. I'll release it today after this is over with. But anyway, so let's get back to this. All right, so Spooky Empire Orlando was about an 8-hour trip for me, which honestly, the trip from North Carolina, the Charlotte region, Gastonia, to Orlando really wasn't that bad. It was 8 hours. There's 3 Buc-ee's on the way. Once you get to Georgia, you hit Georgia, then there's 2 more in Florida right before you get to Orlando. So it's actually a good little break. You can actually, drive about 4 or 5 hours, take a break. And if you feel like taking another break, you stop and no. I stopped at 2 of them on the way there and all 3 of them on the way back. It's a Buc-ee's. Like, Thursday Buc-ee's going down there is not bad. Sunday Buc-ee's coming back with the beach crowd and everything during the summer. It's packed. Good Lord. But they do a good job getting you in and out, so no complaints. All right, let's go ahead and go on with Spooky Empire. So it was definitely the last weekend, 29th through 31st of May. Wasn't that expensive of a booking for the tickets or anything. I did the 3-day pass. It's at the Hilton, the Doubletree Hilton SeaWorld Resort, so you actually can get a hotel room there. And the way they ask you if you want to do resort side or parking lot side. Resort side has good advantages because where I was in cabin 17. It was a very short walk across the middle of the promenade or whatever you want to call it to the convention center. If you go parking lot side, you're on the other side. It's not that you just walk around the corner. But the advantage of having either parking side or resort side, there's a big, I want to say promenade, but it's like a big area in the middle between everything, and they have live bands at night, and Saturday and Sunday they have vendors in the area also. But the live bands, they play, I think they start around 6 o'clock and they play till like midnight, and there's music playing like on the radio till like 2 o'clock in the morning. So if you like that kind of stuff, resort side is awesome. I was resort side. I'll do it again if I go again. Parking lot side, if you're not really into that, that way the noise is muffled a little bit. You don't have to worry about hearing the bands or anything. So I got a double queen bed. It was nice. The room was nice and clean. It's had a nice bathroom and everything to it, and it was pretty good. It was a pretty good hotel trip. Everything that you want in a hotel was there. You can open your door and close your door with your phone. So I thought that was a pretty good advantage. I don't always want to be fiddling around for my card, but I know where my phone's at all times. And like I said, it's the resort. You go straight over. You go straight to the conference center from your hotel room. There's also they have their own little restaurant that's around the area. Also, there's actually two restaurants. One's like dinner food. One's got a bistro kind of feel, like pizza, coffee, and everything. There's a bar inside the hotel. It's right in the right area. I think there's like 3 or 4 pools. There's actual when you actually went to go like for the panels, like the Q&A panels, or the movies that they were premiering and showing and everything, or screening, whatever. There's a whole different conference room, 2 levels for that. So it's real set up to where you can actually like go there, and if you get a hotel room at the convention center or at the hotel, you don't have to go anywhere else that weekend. Which I went out Friday night, had dinner with a friend, and then Saturday and Sunday I didn't leave the complex until I came home. So actually no, Friday and Saturday. Sunday I left, went home. I got there Thursday night, and then Friday and Saturday I stayed in the complex. You know, there's food, there's booze, there's people, there's everything. I didn't really socialize too much because I was a little out of my element this time, but you know, it was still a good time. You know, it was. I'd highly recommend if you're not living in the area, go ahead and get you a hotel room. Parking was if you had a hotel room, you had free parking. If you didn't have a hotel room, I heard people were having to park a mile away or whatever. So, but like I say, I highly recommend the hotel room. And like I say, it was pretty nice. What we're gonna do later, so just so you can give a little background of the conventions I've been going to. I've been going to quite a few this year, out of state and everything. Um, I've been going to Mad Monster Expo and the Mad Monster Party in Concord for years, and I decided to go ahead and start going to different ones this year. I'll after I get through talking about Spooky Empire, I'm gonna give a little review of like the other ones I've been to this year and kind of do some comparisons. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get everything away. I'm gonna go through like the actual review of the convention. So VIP got to line up early, get their VIP tickets early on Saturday or Friday. I'm sorry, because the convention actually started on Friday, so they got to go in there. I wasn't VIP, so I can't really speak on it. Whatever, but general admission. So general admission, we were allowed to come get our wristbands at noon. So people started lining up about 11 o'clock. I think not everybody read the instructions. I think everybody thought 11 o'clock we can go in and start doing our thing. That was not the case. So you show up, you get they start giving out the wristbands about noon. I was probably 30, 40 people back, maybe at most. And by 12:15, I had my wristband. I was already headed back to my room because the convention didn't really start till 1. That's whenever the vendors got there. The guests, the celebrities, they didn't get to till 5. So 1 o'clock rolls around, and you know the vendor area is nice. It's a nice setup. Everybody has their own room to do stuff. There's room to walk around. It didn't really have a lot of variety like some of the other ones I've gone to. It was, like I said, it was nice, and there was some cool stuff there. I found some it's just mess pile back here. I ordered some frames for some posters and everything that I bought at the convention. Like I bought some original Hellraiser and Army of Darkness from Germany posters, and I got a old 70s Tales from the Crypt. So they're gonna go on the wall eventually, but they're sitting here with some other stuff. I gotta do some decorating. So anyway, there's some cool shirts to get. Like I got this one. Like I can't really remember who I got it from, but I got that shirt from Spooky Empire. There was some stuff there that was good deals. Like this shirt was $25 each, or two for 40. There was some stuff that was highly overpriced. I understand art is subjective, and you want to get paid what you think your art's worth, but there were some overpriced products there. But whatever, it's at every show. If you want it bad enough, you're gonna pay for that price. So we'll just leave it at that, you know. But I would say the vendor area had a lot of 3D printed stuff. Take it with a grain of salt, whatever you want to do. I got 3D print my own, so but I don't really Yeah, some of the 3D print stuff's cool, but that's not something I want. I'm going for like original stuff, like original art or like uh original one sheet posters from the movies. So anyway, let's go with that. I think there were a ton of vendors, but there wasn't a lot of like horror variety and like cool old school shit. Like the horror conventions I've been going to lately, like obviously they've been doing the old school horror stuff. I felt like this was a newer style horror. Like it was the new era of horror movies. Like I don't think, like I was wearing a Frankenhooker shirt, and one of the vendors was like, "Oh, Frankenhooker." I was like, "Yeah, that's pretty cool." Well, I got Frankenstein. I don't think he even knew who Frankenhooker was. And to be at a horror convention selling horror related products, not knowing what Frankenhooker was, it's kind of wild. But anyway, so I really feel like this was more of a new school horror, and I don't want to be a horror snob or anything. I don't claim to be an expert at horror or anything. So anyway, but I feel like as a overall, it wasn't the best variety of vendors like some of the shows I've been to. Um, Mad Monster does a great job of just having tons of vendors that have just different things there, like homegrown art and just projects and everything. Like you're always looking around finding cool stuff everywhere in Mad Monster. Um, Spooky Empire, Spooky Empire, Charleston had a little less stuff, but it was still a big variety. Um, HorrorHound Weekend, Cincinnati, you can't really compare anything to that. That's like the biggest one I've been to. They had so much stuff there. All right, so we're not really going to touch much on that because I'm not trying to take anything away from the vendors or artists or anything. It just I feel like this wasn't as the vendor area wasn't as much variety as some of the other ones. All right, so we'll go ahead and just skip on to that one. Um, the celebrities and guests. Okay, so they got there at 5 o'clock Friday. The big one, of course, is well, they basically had a Nightmare on Elm Street reunion and a Child's Play reunion. Brad, oh, fuck, Dordoff, I always forget his name, and Robert Englund were the big names. So Brad's line was pretty long. Robert Englund's line was ridiculous. They limited VIP Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I think only VIPs got to see him, which I'm not knocking anything. He's an older gentleman. He was doing a lot. He was interacting with the crowds. He was interacting with everybody that came up to his counter. It takes a while to sign stuff, especially if people bring multiple things. So I'm not going to knock not being able to meet. I did want to meet him, but there's other ways to get an autograph from Robert England. So I'm gonna go ahead and that. So I'm gonna go ahead and just speak on my experiences with the vendor areas. I don't really want to hit every vendor because I'm not really into everything. Like Child's Play, yeah, I'm not really into that, so I didn't really go over there. But the Nightmare on Elm Street reunion was awesome. Um, it had a lot of the women that were from the first four movies. I don't think they were in the fifth movie. Um, Amanda Weiss, whatever you want to say it. Brooke Burns, yeah. What? Brooke Thies was my favorite. Was a number one that I had to get first and all. Um, the girls that did the nursery rhyme two of them. The girls that did the nursery rhyme. They were there. Their dad was there. He's a stunt actor. He actually played. Whenever you see Freddy on Fire in the first movie, that's him. Tom Cesare. I don't know how to pronounce the name. Anyway, so they were the ones I really want to get. I want to get Robert England, but like I knew more than likely I couldn't get Robert England. So I definitely want to get the women on there, the screen queens, and I did. I brought a canvas of young Robert England done by Fantasy Realms. They're always at Mad Monster, and they're going around different conventions. And every time I put the canvas on there, every one of them were like, "Wow, this is amazing!" Like was Robert ever really this young? Because it was a copy of an airbrush that he did from the first picture of Robert England with the glove. No, there's no Freddy mask. He's got the glove. So they were all, I can't believe he was so young back then. Okay, and then Brooke Thies started off, You know, if you don't know who she is, she's from the fourth movie. She got turned into a cockroach. She's also from Just the Ten of Us, which apparently there's a big connection between a lot of them in that one because Heather Langenkamp was also in that one too. But anyway, she's like, "Do you want a quote?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, whatever you want to put in there." So she started the ball rolling, and every one of them put a quote on here. So, and Brooke started off, "Hey, yo, needle dick," and she said, "Bug girls rule." And then I got the jump rope girls started off the nursery rhyme on here. I've got okay asshole, let's dance. I got all kinds of good stuff here. Yeah, so this is what I got. It's got 11 signatures on there, including the stunt actor and his kids, who were his daughters, who were the jump rope girls right here. Yeah, so every one of them wrote a quote from one of the characters in the movie, and I thought that was pretty cool. Like they were, "Hey, can I write a quote?" Yeah, you can do whatever you want to. Where do you want me to sign? Wherever you want to sign it. Just don't sign on space, because I'm still going to go. There's a couple other Danny Hassel. I'm gonna try to get Robert England to sign this. Heather Langenkamp's going to try and get her signed. There's a couple of people that I'm still going to try to go in here, but I want Robert England, Heather on here on the face a little bit. I don't want to cover the face totally, but this is one of my prized possessions from the show. It's been sitting on my wall ever since I got back. So anyway, they were all super nice. Like, I went to the Q&A panel afterwards, and every one of them just, if they're like that in real life, it's amazing. They're so positive and so friendly and nice to everybody. It made the convention so much better. Like, even after I already paid and after I signed, they still were, "Hey, what was your name again?" And they want to shake my hand. Like, it was great crowd interaction with them. They were so nice. And then Brooke Thies has a charity that if you paid for a certain package, a certain percentage of her money would go to a dog rescue. So I mean, that's you can't beat that. So anyway, like I said, they made my day. Like I got them. I was so happy about that. But my first autograph stop was from Craig David Dowsett, and yes, I did cheat over here by looking at the screen. He played Winnie the Pooh in the copyright expiration version of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and they thought this was funny that I brought a Winnie the Pooh for him to sign. But he was pretty nice. Like he's a big ass dude, by the way. Like I think you can probably tell from if you ever watched the movie. The movie is it's unique. It's definitely low budget. Well, it's still got some good graphics behind it and everything. And it's one of those movies that I think they kind of forced out, but I like it. I made a 12-year-old watch it in Indiana, so it was pretty hilarious. But anyway, oh man, hold on. Let me get up. Don't pay attention to my shorts real quick. I forgot something. Like I said, this is was one take or nothing kind of deals. So I forgot to get something. And yeah, all right. So, and then we definitely had to stop by the booth for the most amazing, evilest, baddest bad guy in any movie ever. As a child, we all loved Pee Wee Herman. Well, I don't know if we all did, but I did. And Pee Wee Herman came out with this movie called Pee Wee's Big Adventure. And his arch nemesis was a man-child called Francis. And he signed it, "You're going to regret this, Ben." Mark Holton gave me a nice little thing. I actually told him, I was like, when I was a kid, man, I honestly was mad at you for how mean you were to Pee Wee. He's like, "Well, if you were mad at me, I did my job, didn't I?" I was like, "Yes, you did." So, and he made up for it later. He's in Teen Wolf. But anyway, all right. So, like I say, those two they were side by side. It was pretty nice. Like it was a nice little thing here. And then if you're going to a horror convention and you don't stop by CJ Graham's booth, you're doing yourself a disservice. CJ Graham is probably one of the best. CJ Graham is probably one of the best fan interactions I've ever had at a convention. He will talk to you. He will make jokes. He's there to have fun with you guys. He's there. He takes time to talk to you. if you tell him a story, he's actually interested in it. He likes to make it where you actually have a good time in his line. And I saw him a while back at Mad Monster. I didn't have a Jason mask, but now I do. And I got him to sign right here. He was Jason from the sixth movie. Back when like Jason got supernatural powers. Well, he was always had super, but he was like super. He was a super being then. But he's a big ass dude, by the way. Like a lot of times when you see people that were in movies, they're kind of smaller than you think they are. Nah, CJ Graham's huge, and he put a death grip on me at Mad Monster on my shoulder, and I was like, good lord, this dude's strong as hell. But he's a great interaction. Like I say, he's awesome. So I can go ahead and let me now that I've gone through that. Like those are the only autographs I got. So my experience in the autograph line was, if you weren't going to Brad's or Robert's line, you pretty much either could walk straight up to the guest, or you could stand in line for about 5-10 minutes, probably 15 tops, and you can get your autograph. I've been to some other shows, and I'll show some stuff in those shows when I start talking about too. Like, but I've been to some other shows where, how do I say this? I think the lines for Robert and Brad were always going to be long, but I think they were longer because there wasn't really that many big, huge names that would draw huge lines. So when you went to the actual autograph room, a lot of the people in that room really didn't have lines, or if they did have lines, they weren't that long. Now, if you went to HorrorHound Weekend, there were a ton of big names there, and I think basically, if 10,000 people show up and you got half of them want to see Robert, half of them want to see Brad, you got 5,000 people per line. But I'm exaggerating here. But if you went to HorrorHound, you had Elvira, you had the guys from Scream, you had Danny Trejo, Ralph Macchio, the guy that played Johnny Lawrence, and a couple other people all in one room, and all of their lines were pretty much equal sizes. Like they were deep lines. Like each line that you got into there was about 2 hours long. But those 2 hours really nowadays with phones and everything, they pass by pretty fast. Now they're talking about when you see Robert or Brad, you're waiting 4 to 6 hours and maybe longer, and not be able to see them. Like people lined up 2 hours ahead of time and still weren't able to see them because VIPs went first or whatever, and then so a lot of people didn't get to see them. So I think if there would have been more big names there, which you're not really right now, everybody's into Robert Englund, so you're not really going to get anything really bigger than that usually. But if there were some more big names there, the lines could have been divided a little more evenly, and they probably would have been a little less. So that's the only thing I can really take away from Spooky Empire is, and I'm not bitching about lines. I'm just saying if there would have been more big names. I'm not saying these people that there weren't big names. Like I said, CJ Graham's one of the best people to go talk to, and all the girls from Nightmare on Elm Street, they've gone on to do other things. But I'm saying like the big names that people are wanting to get autographs from right now, if they'd had more people, like a few more people, the lines could have probably been more evenly spaced a little bit, and people might have been able to, I'm either choosing this person or this person, and they would have chose, and maybe the lines would have been a little different than this one. I'm not an expert on it, so I'm not really going to say much on that. But no, anyway, that's my take on it. Like I say, there's a lot of people in that room that you can just walk straight up to, which was awesome for me because like I'm cool with every one of the girls. The 11 signatures from Nightmare on Elm Street. Hell yeah, CJ Graham definitely. Like I got to see the bad guy from Pee Wee's Big Adventure, and Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It's one of those guilty pleasure movies for me. So I'm pretty happy with that. They had food outside. They had like different catering stations. They had places for you to sit. They had different places to get booze. And like I say, after the convention, they had live bands. So overall experience was great. Like it was I really can't say anything bad about it. Like yeah, it could have been better, probably, or maybe not. Who knows? It was a great event. It was a great weekend for me. Like I had a lot of fun. Like I came back with some cool shit though. I'll hopefully once I get it all framed up and everything, I'm gonna I'll probably do another podcast here showing off some of my stuff. Like I've been collecting some stuff lately, and like, what's the sense of having it in your house if you don't show it off? So, but let's go. Let's start talking about some other stuff. Since this is my first show, I've been meaning to do one for a while, and I decided to go ahead and do it now. Like I want to get Spooky Empire just out of the way since that's the title of the show. But I also want to go through some other shows I've been to, and we're going to start off with I guess we're going to start off with Mad Monster. All right, so Mad Monster Expo. Well, this is the Mad Monster Party. They have a Mad Monster Expo and a party in Concord, North Carolina. One's in February. The party's in February. The expo's in August. The expo is lining up to be awesome, by the way, this year. If you're in the Concord area or whatever, the Mad Monster Expo is going to be pretty awesome. Like they've got Godzilla actors in this movie. Like it's going to be great, and it's convention, so it's going to be great. It's also at what the hell is the name of the Embassy Suites, I think is what it is. So you can get a room there, and you can actually stay in the room with the convention. I drive every year, but I'm thinking about staying this year maybe for the party at least. All right, so Mad Monster Party this year in February went hard with Hellraiser, and Hellraiser's awesome. Well, let's before we go too far into let's go ahead and review everything like I did Spooky Empire. So this year they changed up the vendor area a little bit, which their vendor area, they actually have all their celebrities in there, except unless there's like a big name like Kevin Spacey came one year and they put him upstairs and all this other stuff. So when you go to Mad Monsters, it's all in the same confined area. There's a whole area here. They got booze vendors everywhere. They got both shows every show's got tattoos now. But anyway, so the vendor area and the autograph area is the same area. So what they basically do is they put the celebrities on the outside wall, and then they put the vendor group in the inside. This year it felt great because normally when you go there it's hot, but it was nice. It was nice and cold. So they have a variety of things. Like you go to Mad Monster, it's not one of the bigger conventions, but it's one of the better ones with all the variety of vendor stuff in there. Like there's all kinds of stuff to find, like art. There's like people make cups or whatever, like just little displays of stuff. There's like old like people turn old VHS tapes into things. There's Funko Pops. There's all kinds of stuff there. The variety of Mad Monster has pretty much spoiled me from pretty much every show. But anyway, parking's always nice. We got scammed one year. Some dude took $6 from me, and then I found out it was free parking. But parking, if you get there early enough, is not bad. If you get there late and then there's big names like Robert Englund there, you're going to be parking and you're going to be walking a while. Overall, I haven't stayed for a party yet, but I'm probably going to do it this year and next February, because I want to do a review on the party also, see what it is after hours. It's actually a pretty good show. Like I think they do. It's not as big as those shows, so they can pretty much do everything pretty evenly. Vendors, guests, and like the everything else. So it's, if you're in the area, I suggest you go to this one. But we're going to talk about what I got at the convention. So I'm going to grab all stuff here. Like I said, it was a very Hellraiser heavy convention. But we started off Nick Castle, the Shape. He was Michael Myers before Michael Myers was Michael Myers. So he was actually the first guy I saw. He actually inscribed it the Shape, so that's pretty cool. I was pretty excited about that one. And then once again, CJ Graham. This is before I got the mask. If you can get CJ Graham, if you can get in CJ Graham's line, which was longer, it was longer at this convention. If you can get in his line, because he's a great fan interaction. He'll talk to you. He'll joke around with you. He likes kids. He likes talking to kids too. Tom McLaughlin, the director, he also signed the front of it above CJ Graham. So I've got a director and an actor from the 6th movie in this one. which is pretty fucking cool. I'm not gonna lie. The six movies are one of the better ones. Like, this is great. So I have this print that I found at the All Things Collectible in Gastonia, and right now I'm waiting on one more signature for Barbie Wild there. And I'll have all five signatures in this thing. So Ashley Lawrence, she was super nice. Like she was a nice person. Like you can tell she's generally a nice person the way she was. Nicholas Vance, sorry. Their lines were super long. Nicholas Vance and Simon Bamford, their lines were super long. They were Cenobites. They're the two at the bottom, the Chatterer and what the hell they call him? The fucking fat one. Anyway, Butterball and Chatterer. They were super nice. Like they were interacting with all the fans. Like their lines are super. Like at one point we were in line for a while waiting for them, but you can't be mad because they're having interactions with every fan that comes up there. They're not just autographing stuff. And like Nicholas Vance actually drew a Chatterer on here in gold, so that's pretty fucking awesome. And then when you get to the line, they're just talking to you about stuff. Like they're getting to know you, like whatever. Like they were talking about how I think it was Nicholas Vance was he was the first Seymour Krillborn in Little Shop of Horrors in England or whatever on stage. And they were just cool dudes. They were talking about everything. So their lines took forever, but it's worth it, you know. And they'll grab your stuff and they'll look at it, and they ain't signing it yet. They want to talk to you first, and then eventually, you know, they'll talk to you and water signing, and they'll keep talking to you. And we were probably in their line. We were probably talking to them like 10, 15 minutes. It was a good experience between those two guys. Doug Bradley, I kept looking back at his line. I'm like, why is Doug Bradley's line empty? Doug Bradley was sign your shit and go, which I can't blame the guy. Like he's an older gentleman, and you know he's there. You know, I don't think he needs the money. I think he's there to sign your stuff so you have a memento from one of your favorite movies. So I don't think he was really trying to be a dick or anything, but he's an older gentleman. I think he was ready. I think he was just ready to get out there. Like I say, and then Nicholas Vance also signed this and drew the Chatterer on there. So I got two of his because they don't make a Butterball Funko. Doug Bradley, who's just got an amazing signature, also signed this one, which I wish there wasn't such a glare. But Doug Bradley's signature is ridiculous. I like that. But I say every year I'll go to Bad Monster every year just because it's such a good experience. And there's always something there. I said they've got an awesome set. I think they have the best setup out of the whole group. And then we can talk about, since we're talking about Spooky Empire earlier, after Mad Monster, I went to Spooky Empire in Charleston, South Carolina, which is back in March, and they had a little mixture of different people there. Like I don't think there was really like a huge theme or anything for this one. So I started my day off with getting Bill Johnson's autograph. He's the second. He's a Leatherface from the second movie, and he's a big ass dude, and he played one of the worst villains in the movie ever. But he was super nice. Like he greeted you, and you know you had a good experience in his line. He didn't really talk to you much, but he still had a good line, a good time. Went to Kane Hodder, who I didn't have the Jason mask yet. Kane Hodder is awesome. He's not as big as C.J. Graham, but he played Jason in more movies than anybody else. But he's good. He's a good experience. He'll talk to you. He'll have a good little time with you. I also saw. Well, what the hell? I just forgot his name. Oh my goodness! Hold on. We can't be doing. Oh, it's Tyler Mane. That's who it is. Sorry, Tyler Mane, who is a big ass dude too. He's tall as hell. He played Michael Myers in the Rob Zombie movies, and he also played Sabretooth in the MCU. Well, before the MCU was MCU, he was Sabretooth in Wolverine and Deadpool. So he was actually pretty cool. He actually wrote it down here too. So he wrote Rob Zombie movie, whatever on there. So he actually inscribed it for us. But he likes to joke around too. I saw him I saw him also at a HorrorHound Weekend, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. And I was, hey dude, I think you're stalking me. I saw you in Charleston. He kind of laughed at me. Next one to. All right. Well, we'll hold on for this. We'll hold on. Bam Margera was, of course, Bam Margera late to the show, but I still got his autograph here. He drew a heartogram on it and everything. I think it was like an hour and a half, 2 hours late. He had a little entourage with him. He was actually interacting with every one of the fans. Like somebody had a heartogram Misfits shirt, and he jumped up. And I had to go talk to him, ask him where he got it from. He was doing a good time interacting with people. So even though he showed up late, he was still making it, the BAM show. So it brought back nostalgia for my childhood. Well, not my childhood, but when I was a young man in the Air Force and all. Like and if you don't know why they got a signed Skeletor thing, back in the CKY days, they did a Skeletor rap video. So you can probably check it out, like CKY Skeletor rap video. It'll probably if you're not easily offended, it'll be good to check it out there. Got Ric Flair's autograph. Yeah, Ric Flair's experience getting an autograph, which we're going to just put this down here, is not a good experience at all. Didn't say one word to me. Looked like he was not wanting to be there. He was about an hour and a half late. I read on the social media later that he left early. He looked like he had a rough night the night before. Normally when you go to these lines, you go up there and you talk to the person that's standing beside the celebrity. Like it's either one of their helpers or a person for the group there, and they'll tell you, hey, what do you need? And you tell them, and you give them money, and they're all right, cool. And sometimes they'll give you a little ticket that says what you need. Like Bam, she wrote on post note, signature only, something like that. So, but you had to actually go up to Ric Flair's line and talk to one of his people and get what you want to order, which it was $80 or $100 for a signature. And then if you wanted him to write woo on it, it was another like 30 or 40. And if you want to write 16-time world champ, it was another charge. I just got the basic signature because I was like, well, there's no sense in having all that shit paid for extra because it's not going to be worth it. But you paid the guy and he handed you a ticket. You took your ticket and your items you want to get signed, and you hand it to another guy who was standing in front of the booth, not letting you up to the booth. And he would take your items, he would hand it to Ric Flair, and he'd hand him the pen, and then Ric Flair would sign it, not saying a damn word to you, not looking at you or anything. And then he would hand it back to that guy who would hand it to you. Which that's, if you really think about it, that's probably the most Ric Flair thing you can do, the most Nature Boy thing you can do. But still, the fan experience kind of fucking like, this fucking guy doesn't give a shit about being here. And obviously, by being late and then leaving early, I don't think he really wanted to be there at all. And he pretty much showed everybody that he didn't want to be there. Well, we're going to bring it to the last one on the table here. And if you grew up when I did, and I'm going to date myself here, back in the early days of the internet, this was the internet girl back in the day. Everybody knew her name. Everybody knew what she did. Everybody knew how to access her. Jenna Jameson. This scene is from Zombie Strippers, which also starred Robert Englund. I tried to watch it the other day, and the acting is so fucking awful. But anyway, she is so nice. Like, I wasn't expecting a former adult entertainment star to be as nice as she was. Like I was expecting her to kind of be a douchebag a little bit, but she was super nice. Like, she was honestly, she gave a shit, and she took her time, and she actually wrote like, Ben tastes good, and then sign her name because she's eating somebody in this picture. So I thought it was pretty cool. Like, she actually like, do you want to sign this here? You want me to write something? Yeah, if you want to, sure. She was super nice, and like I know it's creepy to be a fan of Jenna Jameson, knowing why I'm a fan of her. But anyway, she had like pictures from movies, like regular pictures, like bikini pictures, and she had like a covered thing of nudes that can get signed. I'm like, it'd be kind of creepy to get her to sign nudes. So I'm just gonna get her to sign one from Zombie Strippers because that's pretty cool. I like horror movies. I'm gonna try to give Zombie Strippers a try again, but it's just like I say, the acting from some of the people in that movie is just over the board awful. Um, so Spooky Empire Charleston was the first one where, and Spooky Empire Orlando did the same thing where they would tape off the areas in front of the guests, and they did like a kind of a zigzag pattern, and nobody really follows a zigzag pattern, so it's they constantly have people tell you how to get in lines, but I think it was kind of clustered to this one, like they they kind of had a lot of those celebrities on the wall, and then had like their own separate section for celebrities. Maybe that's why Ric Flair was mad. He wasn't in the separate section for celebrities that was in the back. That was Kane Hodder and Jenna Jameson, Bill Johnson, the guys from Walking Dead, and Bam Margera. They were all in the back part of it. Yeah, maybe he was a little mad he wasn't back there, but they had like a little section set off there, and like they would have a booth here and a booth here, and like the fans could be in between. So I think the lines kind of got jumbled up a little bit. They may be a little too close, but again, people were following the actual zigzag pattern. It might have been better, but I say it got a little congested at times, but it wasn't bad. Like it was pretty cool. And then like once you got through with that, you can go to the main part of the building, and that was where all the vendors were. I don't know if there was a lot of food choices or drink choices or anything. It was. I probably forgot how to mention how easy it is getting Mad Monster. It was super easy getting Spooky Empire Charleston. There was a line when I got there, and like before I figured out what a big convention was, I was like, oh man, there's like 20, 30 people in line. This is a huge line. That's not a huge line. They opened right when they said they were. Everybody went in. Everybody did the thing. Did celebrities inside. The inside area was the vendors. The vendors, it was a nice variety of vendors there. There was something for everybody to find. I had to get back to work for the next day, so I left. It was a 3.5 hour drive, but I say it was a pretty good experience. I would like to experience what the night after hours party is there too, maybe 1 year or so. And then after Spooky Empire Charleston, I went to HorrorHound Weekend, and this is the big one. This one, I was trying to do a thing this time where normally I get places super early, and I rush myself, and I get early and all this other stuff, and I kind of get stressed out. I was trying to do a different thing this time, so I flew to Cincinnati. I got me a hotel, and at the Live Inn, it wasn't in the same, like you can get a hotel room at the convention center where the convention center is, and like it's a huge ass convention center, by the way. It's huge. You can get a hotel room. I didn't decide to go to HorrorHound Weekend until too late. So I ended up getting a room at the Live Inn, which is like a 2-minute walk from the place. It's not bad at all. And the Live Inn, they actually went all out. They decorated for the horror convention, so that's a pretty cool touch. They had a drawing for 3 signed Funko Pops. It was like $5 per counter tickets, whatever. It was pretty cheap. So I think I paid $10 for tickets. So it's pretty cool. Like there's a bar across the street that you can go to. They serve mostly IPAs. It's not a bad bar. It's kind of a hipster bar, but it wasn't bad at all. I forgot what it's called. Third Eye Brewing, I think maybe. It was actually a pretty cool bar. I spent some time there, but we'll go ahead and jump into that. So the Live In, I won Brett Wagner Leatherface Funko Pop signed. He actually wrote on the side a little description that says Hammer Time. So I got this for $10 with raffle tickets, and they called me down Saturday and was, hey, you won something. I'm like, cool. So I went down and picked up my free item. It was pretty cool. Like he was at the convention, so it saved me some money there. While I was there, I decided to go to the bar before the convention, and somebody sat down beside me and was talking to me, and I was being cordial, whatever. And at the end of it, I paid for my drink, paid for my drinks, and my food and all. And I got to leave, and she was like, "Hey, are you going to the convention across the street?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to conventions across the street. Are you?" She said, "Yeah, I'll be there all weekend." I'm like, "Cool, I'll see you there." Well, I didn't realize until I got into the convention that that person was very familiar, and I should have noticed who she was. So I walked up to her line. And I said, "Hey, I'm sorry, I'm a dumbass and didn't recognize you, but Lori Petty was sitting beside me at the bar. I was across the street from the convention center, and I thought that was cool as shit. Like I've seen her like in the Army Now is one of my favorite movies. This is from Tank Girl. In the Army Now is one of my favorite movies. So it's great. Like she was pretty cool. Like she was like as soon as I walked up to her line, she said, "Howdy, stranger." And I'm like, yeah. So she wrote on here, "To Ben, I owe you a beer." Put some hearts on there and signed it for me. And then I found a art print of hers later that was Tank Girl, which I bought for a friend of mine who also goes by Tank Girl. And she's like, "This is the first time I've ever written an autograph to Tank Girl from Frank to Tank Girl from Tank Girl." I mean, that's pretty cool. But she was cool as shit. Like, she still owes me a beer though, because I never got to link up with her again. I think it's because my dumbass instead of going to the party afterwards, I went to the bar again. So I never got to link up with her again. But she's gonna be at some conventions this year, and if I run into her, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, you owe me that beer still." So when you walk around the outside, which I don't know why he was on the outside of the convention. Okay, so let me explain how the convention goes at HorrorHound since we're going inside now. So when you go in, oh well, let me explain how bad the entering of the event was. Okay, so if this would have been a local event and I hadn't paid so much money for the flight and everything to get there, I would have gotten in line and left. The line was so ridiculously long. I got there 15, 20 minutes before the convention started, and there was a line. And they were like, "Oh, that's not the line. The line's on the other side of the building." So you actually had to go to the other side of the building. There's probably 200 people in front of me trying to go into the building to go talk to the people at the front registration so that you can go. And once you did that, you went outside the building, and then you got in line to go inside the building. So you went from outside to inside to outside to inside, which, whatever. So the thing was, the reason why I'm gonna bitch about this one. Normally, when you go to a convention, if you gotta buy tickets, there's a line. If you've already bought your ticket, you show them your little code, or you show them, like, or you bring a piece of paper that has the code on it, and they're all right, cool, scan you, you're good, put your wristband on, go ahead and enter the show. This one, here's one line, whether you bought tickets or whether you've got tickets or whether you're buying tickets, you're in the same line. So if you bought your ticket, but there's 10 people in line in front of you buying tickets, you've got to wait on those 10 people to buy those tickets before you can go to the front and be like, "Here you go, here's my phone with my code on here." So even though you prepaid for your tickets, you still had to wait in this huge ass line with everybody that didn't pay. So it kind of made no sense to me that if you already paid, you're waiting this long fucking line. Like, I feel bad for the people behind me because there's probably like 500 people behind me. But I was like, there's no sense in this shit. Like I get it if like everybody bought the tickets there, you'd be in one line, but you bought your tickets online before the event. Why can't you go ahead and just go to a different line? Because there were tons of workers standing around with wristbands, but you had to go to the ticket booth first and show them your code, and then they would like, "Oh, here's your wristband." They actually have people help you put it on and everything. That's pretty cool. But I mean, I'm like, what's the point in buying your ticket ahead of time if you're going to stand in the same freaking line? Like, you buy your ticket ahead of time, so A, it doesn't sell out, and you actually get your ticket. But B, so you don't have to wait in this freaking line while people are buying stuff. Like even if it was like 2 out of the 10 people buying tickets in front of you, if you multiply that out of the 200 people in front of me, there's probably 20 people buying tickets, and they take forever to do shit. Like a lot of people are like, oh, well, what's the price of this? What's the price of that? Well, let me get my card out. And you know how long it takes people to buy stuff. So I say that's probably my only real negative thing I'm going to say about HorrorHound Weekend. Like it's entering the event sucks so fucking bad. Like it was one of those things where like I wanted to turn around and go home, but then you get to come in and see how everything. So they had separate screening rooms for Q&A and in shows. They had a downstairs area that had food vendors all over it. Well, actually, they had a downstairs area. One part of downstairs area was food. The other part was the lesser known and smaller vendors. So we'll go ahead and hit those first. You know, some of the smaller vendors they had cool shit. It's just I guess they probably just started doing their stuff and they were coming up and it was all pretty cool stuff. It's just they may not have been around as long as everybody else and haven't been in business or whatever. So they were down separated below on the bottom. You know, second class citizen kind of shit. There was a tattoo booth upstairs, but then you went downstairs and there was a lot of shit down there. One of the people I met downstairs was Lenora from Lenore's Midnight Rental. All right, so if you don't know who Lenora is, she's local to Cincinnati. She hosts her own YouTube show, and she used to be I was watching one of her early videos. She used to be a horror host on a TV channel up in Cincinnati, and then now she's got her own YouTube channel where she goes in and she chooses horror movies that she likes to watch, and she goes super in depth. Like she's got a little entertaining stuff. It's almost like Elvira meets Pee Wee's Playhouse. She's got puppets that do stuff, and like I wasn't expecting it and everything. She's got puppets there that help break up some of the stuff. She goes super in depth in everything. I started off with the Tales from the Crypt episode, and it got me hooked. I'm ready for her next season. Plus she's pretty hot, so that helps out too. But she was super nice. I bought a couple things from her. But no, she's very in depth when she goes into shows. Like she tells you all kinds of backstories, but like stuff you didn't know. Like she links actors to different actors and different like. If you're gonna watch a show if you're gonna watch her show, you're gonna learn everything you need to know about that movie. And then she has special guests on there, like the people that were in the movies, people that like other people that she knows or people know that'll come in and talk about the movies. Also, what part they liked about it. They're like an hour, 2-3 hours long. It's awesome. Like her show is great. If I go back to HorrorHound Weekend and she's there, I'm gonna say nothing but nice things to her and try to buy some more of her stuff because she's awesome. Like she goes. It's one of the more entertaining YouTube. I don't watch a lot of YouTube shows, but hers is like one of the more entertaining ones I've ever watched. It's great. It's informative. And speaking of Tales from the Crypt, like I said, I don't know why this man was on the outside of the book. Because okay, so let me explain how the vendors went. So it was kind of like Mad Monster. The vendors were in the center. You had some guests on the outside, and then you had like a whole other section of guests, like 3 rows of guests on another separate area. Then you had like a bar over here, which bar is awesome. It's always awesome at a bar. So basically, it's a bar, and the back behind there was where photo ops were. But then like the bar, you had like 3 or 4 rows of celebrities, and then from that point on, you had all these vendors, and then like out on the outside of vendors a little bit, there were some celebrities you can get signed. So it was pretty easy to get autographs from people. HorrorHound Weekend's huge, so any person you went to go see, there's a little line at least. But the ones that were in the main vendor autograph area, their lines weren't super long. You probably wait 10-15 minutes and you're out the door. I don't know why he was in this part, but you know, it seems like they segregated a little bit. Like the lower levels, the ones that are less known, vendor areas more known, and then they had a separate area for the more known people, which I'll get to in a little bit. Speaking of Tales from the Crypt, John Kassir was there. Now, his line was a little longer. He came back from a break. I don't know where he was, but he came back from a break. It was worth waiting in his line because he went straight Crypt Keeper on everybody. He did the voice. He still has the puns. This one says "Let's go chopping" because he's got the butcher knife with him, or the cleaver. I'm sorry. The ladies in front of us did amazing cosplay, and he was enamored with them. And they paid for a 2 minute message from him, and he went from like talking like a normal guy. He started humming the Tales from the Crypt intro as soon as he turned their camera on. Did the Crypt Keeper laugh and went full Crypt Keeper voice on this video, doing the Crypt Keeper puns, everything. Like he'd asked her a few things. He asked her a few things for he started the video, and then he just went. He went no time really to prepare. Just went off on it, and then halfway through, she's like, "Hey, it's my birthday today." And he said, "Oh, it's your birthday." He went on a spiel about that. Like he was doing the Crypt Keeper voice. He was doing a laugh. He was doing all these different puns. I mean, it was amazing. Like, I got to him. I was like, dude, I was like, you haven't missed a step, dude. I was like, you're still. I was like, you can step back in there right now. Like it was like the voice brought back my childhood. It was amazing, and like one of the top notch fan experience I've ever had. Also, on the outside area, we have Derek Mears, who's also he was the 2009 Jason Voorhees. He's pretty cool. Like he's big ass dude, and he's generally he would ask you like, what's the have you met this person? What kind of experience do you have with them? He was generally wanting to know. Like he get lost in conversations with people. Like if they started talking to him about stuff, he would keep talking to him about it. He was the first signature on my Jason Voorhees mask. So I got a double signature for him too because I got the Funkos and I got the mask and everything. But he was awesome. It was a pleasure to meet. Like you look at him, he's kind of looks like he's gonna be kind of mean, but he's awesome, dude. Like Derek Mears is a good experience too. So we go from that little area, and we go into the bigger named area. It's off to the side, like there's a bar and some food and everything. You pass by the downstairs area, you're still upstairs, and you go around the corner, and the line starts hitting you already. So in this room, every line's about 2 hours, no matter who you go to. I think Danny Trejo is maybe an hour or so. So Danny Trejo, Danny Trejo's at a convention. You've got to get Danny Trejo's signature. So I got Danny Trejo. He's also there selling merch for his taco business and some other stuff. So you want hats and shirts and everything. His cookbook. He's got all kinds of stuff there. But the guys from Scream were there, so they had huge lines. Karate Kid, Johnny Lawrence and Ralph Macchio, they were there. Danielson, and like a couple other people. I forgot who they were, but they were like their lines were all hour, 2 hours long each. But the one I really came to Cincinnati for was Elvira, Cassandra Peters. She doesn't do Elvira anymore. She doesn't dress up anymore. But at her age, she is still drop dead beautiful. Like I don't. She has superior genetics or some shit because she's what 70 something years old, and she is beautiful. Like you would think 40 tops. Her line was about 2 hours long. She's cash only. There's some people in line with me. They'd already gone through the line and like found out she was cash only. Had to go back in. The line's about 2 hours. The line's about 2 hours long for Cassandra Peterson at the low point. At the low point is a lot longer than that. Like she'll take her little time. She'll take her time signing autographs and everything for you. But no, it was like a childhood dream meeting her. So. But yeah, that's all I've been to this year. Like I said, I don't really care about Scream. I don't really care about Scream. I'm more into old school shit. Certain people, I don't want to meet everybody there. I'm just meeting certain people. Yeah, I'm putting stuff up on my walls, and cabinet, and everything, the stuff I like. Oh yeah, hold on. Fantasy Realm also did this canvas piece. It's a custom coffin shape. and I got her to sign it there. She's got a beautiful signature. Like that's. I don't think she was really impressed by this though. It's weird. Everybody else loved it. She didn't say shit about it, but I really like this. It hangs up in my bedroom. But anyway, so now we've gone through all those now. So let's go ahead and rate what I think the best shows are. All right. Well, I can't really rate them. I'm not gonna rate them against each other because each one was different. I would say the biggest show that I've been to so far is HorrorHound Weekend. It's the one for March, April. I forgot when I went. But anyway, they have 2 a year. One's in the winter. I haven't been to the winter one yet. They're actually starting to release stuff now. It's looking like it's going to be a good show. But it's the biggest one I've been to. Like it was packed. There was so much stuff there. There was a variety of things to buy there. There's a way more celebrities than any other show I've been to. So if you're really only want to go to one show, like out of the ones I've been to so far, if you're only wanting to go to one show, I would suggest HorrorHound Weekend. There's plenty of bars and there's plenty of hotels around there that you can just walk to. The after party, good lord, they have an after party across the street at the other hotel, and it was bumping in there. They had karaoke, bands, everything. So I would think if you were more of a old school horror fan and you like to party at night and you want to be there meeting the most celebrities you can, HorrorHound Weekend is that one. Top notch. It's entering there sucks so fucking bad. It takes away a lot. It takes away a lot from the show, but it's still the biggest one I've been to. It's still, I say, it's top dog right now. I would say for like general inclusivity of like everything in one area. If you just want to go to a convention and hotel and everything and just not worry about anything else, that's Spooky Empire Orlando. That's boom, done. You just go there. You don't have to leave. You don't have to leave the complex ever again. You got food. You got everything. Everything's in the little area. You got a show. You got the bands afterwards. The party's not as wild as HorrorHound Weekend, but I think they had a separate VIP party. So I don't know, and they wouldn't. It was a secret that only VIPs knew about for email. So I don't know what that includes. But anyway, maybe I'll buy VMP one year. But I would say for like just easiest night, easiest way to get around everything, I'd say Spooky Orlando, Spooky Empire Orlando would be that one. So if you want to go somewhere like to a resort and hang out and just, if you're not really wanting to go get a bunch of celebrity signatures, you can go into the event whenever you feel like it. Casual type stuff. Spooky Empire Orlando is the one you need to go to. If you're in the Charlotte area, Mad Monster, always go to Mad Monster. Mad Monster is always gonna be a fun time, and hopefully, I'll stay the night February hopefully, so I'll be able to review that too. So, like I say, overall they're all good. Just some have strong points, some have weak points. If you're there for buying merch, I would suggest Mad Monster if you're local. I would say if you're not local, I would say once again, HorrorHound Weekend would be your next step there. Like if you want to travel somewhere. So HorrorHound Weekend's got the vendor stuff. It's got the guest stuff. It's got the party. So it's HorrorHound Weekend's number one. But if you want to go just relaxing time, Spooky Empire Orlando. The vendor stuff, if you're there just buy merch or whatever, it's not as good as the other shows. I mean, I'm not trying to take away anything from it, but it's the vendor stuff is not as good as the other shows. Mad Monster, like I say, if you're local, if you want to travel to North Carolina, that's perfect blend of celebrity guests and vendor stuff. So you'll find stuff to buy, and because no matter what I do every year, if I say I'm not gonna buy something, I end up buying stuff, and there's plenty of celebrities there, like, and their lines are not bad. Except for that year Robert England came, so his line was wrapped around the building. So I would say the biggest one, HorrorHound Weekend, the most laid back, Spooky Empire Orlando. The best overall mix would be Mad Monster. the Man Monster party, not the expo. The party, the expo is a little smaller party. Next month I'm going to FrankenCon in Tennessee, and then there's GalaxyCon in Raleigh, which isn't really a horror thing, but whatever. There's a few shows I'm going to this year. Nightmare Weekends in Raleigh in October. There's the South Carolina Horror Convention. I'm thinking about going to Days of the Dead in Chicago in November because it's got a Hellraiser reunion, and then January in Days of the Dead is going to be Atlanta with another Hellraiser reunion plus Tracy Lords. So and Heather Langenkamp's going to be there too. So I'm definitely going to that one. Hopefully, this one's probably all over the place. The next show I'll do, it will be focused on one convention I go to. So hopefully it'll be a little better than that. But if you like this video, this is me being the YouTube whore that I am. If you like the video, subscribe, like it, share it, follow it, whatever. It's on YouTube. It's going to be on it's going to be on Spotify. Anywhere else you can stream it, it's going to be all streaming services. Just about all streaming services. I know it's going to be on Apple Music and iHeartRadio and Spotify. There's a few others. It's going to be on YouTube. The video is going to be on Spotify too. So anyway, if you like the video, subscribe, like, follow, share, whatever. If you have any comments, leave me some comments. Hey, appreciate you doing this. Hey, you suck. Your review sucks. Whatever. I think you were wrong about this. You were right about that. Whatever comments you got, send them to me. And I'll probably respond to it. You'll probably have to wade through a lot of paintball stuff. I'll make a separate playlist just for horror conventions. That way it's a little easier to find. And hopefully, we're low budget as fuck, so one take and we're out. If you want to do if you guys want me to do a live show on Facebook and YouTube and all, send me a comment there too. I'll do a live show, but as of right now, I'm just going to do these pre-recorded stuffs. So anyway, hope you liked the show. Even if you didn't, I appreciate you watching. Like I said, next time, hopefully the show's get a little better than this one. More focused, probably last a little less time too. I say, if you like the show, do your thing. If you don't like the show, do your thing. Hit me up, tell me I suck. I appreciate everybody watching, everybody that watched, everybody that interacts. If you're at a show and you want to say, hey, look at that dumbass, that's the guy that doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Say it. Or hey, I watch a show, whatever. Hit me up. I have resting bitch face, so I'm not really approachable at shows, but you can still. I'm not gonna be mean. Like I actually like interacting with people. So if you want to tell me I suck, tell me I suck. If you want to tell me I'm good, tell me I'm good. If you want to tell me I'm tell me I'm eh. But anyway, I appreciate everything. I'll see you next time.